Hello, hello, hello. Mic check, mic check. Hello, hello, hello. Dun, dun, dun. Ba-dum, bam, bam. Yeah. Hello, hello. Yeah. Yay.
They say humans are social animals. They can't live alone. But you can live pretty well by yourself. I tell you, instead of feeling alone, it's better to have real solitude all by yourself. So it doesn't matter if I'm there or not. Just a friendly companion. You distance yourself from all of that.
Hello, hello, hello. Okay. So it appears as if I am alone in the room at the moment. However, I'm going to begin. And this video, I guess, will go to my YouTube channel, and people can watch it and review it at their own time, at their own leisure. And as people come in, we can take comments and we can go in whatever direction people wish to. But I have a topic that I wish to talk about today, and I will share with that. Although it's more fun with people, so I don't know. I'm bored. Hang out here for now. People will come. I'll share. I don't know. I can do custom videos during the week and post them, but I wish for this to be more of like an interactive space. In the meantime, yay, I can entertain myself and hang out. Hey, Craig is in the room. What's up, Craig? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Glad to have you here and glad to be here. For sure, for sure. How are you, man? Josiah, pleasure. I don't believe we've met, but nice to meet you. Pleasure. Thank you for being here. I have some very interesting things I wish to talk about today. We're just getting started. We'll get comfortable here. This is the first time I'm using the YouTube live streaming, so we'll see how it goes. I really would like to have it set up so that I can take audio and like actually have phone conversations. I don't know if that's possible, Hopefully, I don't know. I'm in Copenhagen. I'm in Denmark. And I'm working on coming back home, and that's actually kind of the topic of the discussion I wish to have today. Is I am applying for a new passport because the one that I had became lost under mysterious circumstances, which I will discuss at a future date. But for now, it became lost, and I'm intending to get a new one, but I've come to some information that makes me want to apply for a different type of passport. And many people don't realize that there are actually several different categories of American passport. Whereas a traditional U.S. citizen passport is for U.S. citizens. The passport that I wish to get is a state citizen passport that basically says I was born in state of Colorado. And that because of this, I have rights as a Native American born sort of thing, as opposed to like a United States corporate citizen taxpayer sort of thing. And so that's what I wish to talk about today. Just rambling a little bit in the moment. I'm glad to have you here, Craig. I miss your face, man. I miss hanging out with you, and I wish to connect with you when I come back. Hopefully, it will be not too long, and hopefully there will be adventures in our future. In the last days, I've been daydreaming about living on a boat in the Caribbean, and on my travels, I have come to the belief that I don't think it's that hard. I think it can happen. One of my friends here in Copenhagen is living in a boat in the pirate harbor. There's like a little pirate harbor down by Christiania where they sell the hash. And it's like a rainbow pirate harbor where I guess technically it's international waters, so the port authority or whatever doesn't mess with people. And of course the capital, Babylon, people are trying to shut it down because people are living there for free. But my friend was given a boat and he's been staying in it for some time now. Just like a small boat, but something that you can sleep in, something that you can stay warm in the winter. He's got a small wood burning stove there to stay warm in the winter. So he's already living in a boat, and the idea is that they're going to fix up these boats and kind of take a caravan or a convoy of boats along the coast of Europe when the weather gets nice in the spring, and probably go all the way along the coast to France and maybe all the way down to Portugal. And from there you can hop over to the Canary Islands and go across the Atlantic. And of course, yeah, skills, knowledge, know-how, putting it together. I have more faith in you than I do in myself for the technical aspect of things and the physical. You know, I'm a dreamer. I'm an idea guy, and I like to work on projects and I like to do things. You know, but you know, we each have our own skills, and to each their own in these sort of things. And of course, you know that I respect very much your willpower and your grind mode and your hustle. And of course, I wish you all the success in the world. And you're one of the most positively ambitious people that I've spent time with. And so I wish you success. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. How you doing, man? You in Denver or something, right? That was the last. That was the last I heard or I saw. Boca. Okay, cool. Cool. I think I will be coming home soon. I have an appointment on Tuesday to get this passport, and I have, you know, I can share kind of these documents. I wish to share them actually. Maybe let's see if I can find like a URL for this document of this state citizen passport and some of these other things that I have been working with. Let's see. This is one of the documents that I've been working on. I'll just share it here that people can take a look at it, these sort of things. And it talks about how we have the right as if you're born in America, you have the right to be an American sovereign state citizen, which basically is government of the people, by the people, for the people, as protected by the Constitution for the United States of America, which is, I guess, different from the Constitution of the United States of America. No. Just some chill study beats on YouTube. Just something in the background. But I have been working on some music. My friend Bastian here has a little studio, playing some guitar, bass. I got a guitar to travel with like a year ago. Really cool story, and I will tell it. I mean, I got nothing to do. Like, I'm pleased to tell. That's kind of what I want this space for. So last year, I went to the Rainbow Gathering in Italy, in the mountains, in the Pyrenees. Beautiful, beautiful place. Maybe there are some photographs. Beautiful place, wonderful time. And during this time, I was connecting with people and having a wonderful time. And afterwards, we all went down to the Rainbow Beach in Trieste in Italy. You can look on a map. Trieste is in the corner of Italy. Right, if you follow Venice along the coast going east, you go up along the coast, and Trieste is in that last little corner of Italy before it goes into Croatia. And we were there hanging out on this rainbow beach, bunch of hippies, like naked beach, just naked hippies running around all day, just sitting on the beach, like going to the supermarket and dumpster diving food, major abundance, people just cooking big pots, and we were doing rainbow food circles. So they would say, hey, food circle, 20 hippies are all crowded around one big pot and everybody gets a scoop. And we were there for like 2 weeks, just hanging out on the beach. Like, I literally didn't leave the beach for like 10 straight days. Like, not even to like go up to the road to go, whatever. Just go in the ocean, you get swim every day, beautiful weather. It was like August something. And towards the end, I was chilling with some really wonderful people, just amazing rainbow people, just cool vibe the whole time. And oh, holy shit, we had such a cool time. One day we decided to go into the nearest town, and they were having a busking fair. So like everyone with their guitars and performance. And so we decided to take all of the hippies into this nearest town to go do some busking, earn a little bit of money, whatever. And, we only had like one good vehicle for this. And it was this one German guy. He had this big van. And everyone wanted to go. Like, all the hippies on the beach wanted to go to the busking fair. It was like a cool thing to do. We had nothing else going on. We're just sitting on the beach. So we go up to the road, and the guy pulls up his van, and people start hopping in, And every time we were about to close the door, like another hippie would like show up on the side of the road, like, hey man, let me get in. Another hippie in, another one. And this German guy was like amazing. He was just full powered, like totally didn't give a fuck, like totally just like was righteous, just, hey, full power rainbow, love and joy, let's do it, this sort of thing. By the time we were done, we ended up packing, literally, I counted 25 hippies into the back of this guy's van, and with like backpacks and didgeridoos and guitars and like the whole thing. Unbelievable. People were like, you're sitting in this way, you can't even move. And we're going down the road. People are like singing the songs. 25 of us in a van, just like literally just no space, just absolutely ridiculous. To go to this thing, and then on the way back, we had 29 people in there. So ridiculous. The police pulled us over because we had 29 people. They saw us loading in apparently, and then as soon as we started driving, they pulled us over, and they were like, how many people are in there? And the driver was like, I don't know, like 10. 29 hippies come pouring out of this van, and the police just have no idea what to do. I was like, we kind of like all scatter. And then eventually we all meet up and go home. And somehow, like, they didn't even give him a ticket. 29 people in a van and not even a ticket. It was just unbelievable. They were just baffled that it was even possible. So after this time, like, we're on the Rainbow Beach, and we had a really good group of people. And we had about, 10 or 12 of us that were kind of like the last ones on the beach after other people started going different places. And I was talking to the one brother there, and he told me that he'd been traveling. He's from New Zealand. And he had been traveling for 15 months without using money in his travels. And he had like a guitar, and he was busking along the way and hitchhiking and rolling with, staying with rainbow people, this whole sort of thing. And I was so impressed. I was like, wow, like 15 months of traveling in Europe with no money. Like, wow, I didn't believe it was possible. So I was going to go with these other guys, with the German guy with the big van. And in the end, we decided to, I decided to stay with these other guys and learn how to travel without money, this sort of thing. So we ended up hitchhiking around the corner, like I said, down the coast to Venice. And we did like a week and a half in Venice. Ended up taking acid under the full moon on the beach. Full power, amazing, amazing. So hilarious story. Just one of the hardest I've laughed maybe that I can remember. Just goofy people. There was a really weird situation where we thought that someone was doing like strange sexual magic, because one of our friends decided, like, him and his girlfriend ran off and they found this like abandoned area where they were, we could kind of set up tents or squat or whatever. And there was a church there. And him and his girl decided to have sex in the church. It was an old abandoned church, just for fun. And so we go back in there like the night under the full moon where we're going for it. And we pull up in the church, and because they wanted to play music in there. We were like, oh, hey, we're tripping. We'll go sit in the church. We'll play music. It's got good acoustics. It'll be cool. And we get in there, and my friend, he's from South Carolina. He was like, we're all kind of counterculture, so not really religious, but like kind of grew up in that environment. And we looked, and we get in there, and on the altar where it was sitting was like the used condoms from where he had sex with his girl. And they were like arranged there in like a strange way. And there were some like funny guys. There were some guys like in the next camp over from where we were staying. Like there's a bunch of African like immigrant type people. And so my friend, he was like tweaking. He was geeking. He thought they were doing some voodoo or something with his seed that he had left there. Totally funny. And then like he's freaking out, and we're like tripping quite hard. And he's thinking that someone has done something with his precious energy. And then the kind of weird German guy that was with us comes in from behind. He's like, I did it. I arranged it. And we're just looking at him like, dude, like, what the fuck are you thinking, man? Like, totally weird. I mean, you would have to know this guy, kind of strange guy that was with us. And funny guy, but like nobody knew like why he did that or if he was getting off on it or like whatever. Super funny story. And so this is how all my stories go. My entire story of traveling is kind of like this. So if I'm not careful, I'll tell the whole thing. But anyway, long story short, Irenaeus, what's up, brother? I can tell the story about how I met Irenaeus at a dumpster in Granada. So pleased for you to join us. So pleased to connect some of my friends. Irenaeus, we have Craig in the room. Craig is my last roommate in Colorado. We had a lot of constant forward progress together, a lot of growing, a lot of sharing, a lot of full power, We're working hard and getting at it and being professional adult sort of thing, which I think we did pretty good for that time. Cave living, me and Irenaeus shared a cave for a couple weeks in Granada when it was raining. Very nice time. We had. Very, very nice time there. Granada was very, very cool. Very beautiful place. Yeah, totally. We were high as fuck. And then so we're traveling and we continue going and we go from Venice. My friend had a car, so we all pile in the car. Van living, wonderful. I think when I come back, we talked at one point about what I'm doing with my RV and. Nothing really, it's in storage, but my intention is when I come back to fire it up and maybe go for a road trip. So I encourage everybody to get into van living. I think it's wonderful. Van living, tiny homes, and to find a way to have alternative lifestyles that work. And I know like a lot of the system is trying to shut down these alternative lifestyles. And I think we have to do kind of a civil disobedience on this one. Hey man, if you want to live in a van, you should live in a van. If you want to live in a tiny home, you should live in a tiny home. This whole thing about permits and insurance and license and regulations that makes it impossible, and they just want to be a stick in the mud to keep people from being free. Like, to me, this is a place where civil disobedience is important. So I intend on living in a vehicle sometime soon. Start walking. Should I walk to Spain? Maybe. My intention with the stream tonight is I wish to share. I'm in the process of getting a new passport, a state citizen passport, which will be outside of the jurisdiction of the traditional U.S. corporation. That will allow me to go home for a little while. I would like to go back to Spain. I would like to actually do this whole Europe trip again. And I mean, there's so many places I wish to visit again. Like, not do the whole trip again, but there are so many places I would wish to go. So the way I wish to get those papers is I had my mom order and send to me my original birth certificate. And I have a copy of, or I have a photograph of an old ID. So I do have a picture ID. And I've set up an appointment at the U.S. Embassy, and I'm going to go talk to them. And you can fill out the application in such a way where you can be issued a state citizen passport, and that's my intention. And so this is basically a sovereign American national passport as opposed to a U.S. citizen passport. The strange thing about this that most people don't understand, there are actually, I believe, 3 and maybe more legal definitions for United States, at least 3. One is like United States Corporation, which is a private entity, private corporation with a board of directors, president, vice president, these sort of things. This is what we know as the U.S. government. And this is actually a private corporation entity that is owned, I believe, and incorporated in England or Scotland or something like this. It has to do with the Scottish Rite, Freemasons, something like this, if you actually follow it back. And participating in this is optional. However, if you do take action to participate in this, as far as social security number, voting, these sort of things, then you have given your consent and you're obligated to follow all of the laws and statutes that are that. It's like, for instance, if you work for a company, you have to follow the rules of the company, or you can be fired, or you can be fined or docked pay, these sort of things. And this is kind of what that United States means. There's also the lowercase u, United capital S, States of capital A America, which is the United Sovereign States of America, Colorado State, Washington State, Oregon State. And that is what the state citizen passport is about. Like, is saying, I was born in the geographic area known as Colorado, and as such, I have allegiance to the land of my home, or the land of my birth, and you know, I'm part of this community and associate there, as opposed to having allegiance. You know, to me, the Pledge of Allegiance has always been strange, you know, and there's, I don't know, it's strange. It's if you look at that, fortunately I didn't really go to public school in primary school, so I didn't like say it a lot. I don't remember ever saying it actually in school. It's very strange to me that the young children are forced to say this in school. Also strange, like the American, what I've learned is the American flag. And an easy way to learn about this, you can Google maritime admiralty law. One really helpful guy that really breaks it down and is a thoughtful speaker. He's a little bit pessimistic, especially about some of these, about kind of what they're trying to do with it. Agenda 21, Illuminati, depopulation programs, these sort of things. Is a guy named Jordan Maxwell. Jordan Maxwell really knows his stuff and has studied the law and studied these things very carefully. So maritime admiralty law, Jordan Maxwell. There's, I will offer, let me go ahead and copy paste some links so that you guys can have a good head start on some I'll show some YouTube videos that I have found quite useful, because I have some here. This first one, this is a state citizen passport thing. And I would say that like the stuff that I'm researching is mostly based on the American, but you know, this is basically goes to Washington, D.C., it goes to London, and it goes to Rome, it goes to the Vatican. And whether you're coming from Poland or Denmark or England or Italy or basically any of these Western countries, like every Western country, the only ones left that are not basically under this are like North Korea, Syria, and Venezuela sort of thing. that don't want to peg to the US dollar, that don't want to be part of this monetary financial imperialism. And so it really is kind of like a spiritual battle going on there to get these people under the crown control of the Crown of England and under Vatican control coming from Rome, spiritual. So basically what I'm saying is that, you know, whether you're from wherever you're from, so for you, Irenaeus, I believe that if you find your birth certificate, if you find any documents that you've ever signed that to give you a government ID, state ID, passport, any of these things, if you find those documents, you actually have the lawful right to remove your signature from those documents, because this is a contract, and contract can only be signed by 2 consenting parties. And contracts are only valid if all of the terms and conditions have been disclosed. If you sign a contract with someone to start a business, and then after you sign it, they say, oh, there's a bunch of stuff in there that I didn't tell you about that I expect you to perform, obviously that's fraud. And that's basically what's going on. That's why I titled part of this legal name fraud, because it is a legal name fraud. When your birth certificate is signed, there's a whole bunch of stuff, duties, statutes and stuff that you're expected to perform and conform to that are never fully disclosed at the time that the birth certificate is signed, and therefore it is fraud. There's a document that I will share. There is a talking about this legal name fraud. There is a convention called Clausula Rebus Sic Stantibus, which basically means, it's Latin for things thus standing, and basically it means that same thing. If all of the terms of a contract are not disclosed at the time of signing, then it is not valid. Period. Here we go. Okay. This is very interesting. This is something I wanted to share as well. These CAFR accounts, crossing borders with this document. Yes, it is a passport issued by the government. And basically, you know, me personally, I have already declared to the universe my freedom from the system. You know, that came to the spiritual understanding that, you know, we have to determine sovereignty for ourselves. Nobody has the power to give us sovereignty. It's simply about us claiming it for ourselves. So I already have crossed this bridge in my mind. I've made ceremonies with the universe, with nature, Pachamama, you know, the Most High. Like I've crossed these bridges, and so I consider myself to be free already. The reason I wish to do this, basically to go into the embassy and have this meeting and fill out the paperwork and do it correctly, is just for their understanding. So they say, okay, this is someone who has changed his status, who knows who he is, and so we have to, you know, just to make it easier for them. I'm not asking permission for anything, not at all. I'm simply declaring my rights, and you know, it's a universal right to travel. United Nations signed a Universal Declaration of Human Rights, and I think Article 7 of it declares that it is an international right to travel, to go to and from the place of one's birth. So, and all of the major countries of the world are signees to this. So if ever someone tries to stop you from crossing a border or something like this, you can say this: I have the right to travel as protected by the United Nations Universal Declaration of Human Rights, Article 7. I think Article 7, Section 7. This sort of thing. Let's see. I have been carrying this, actually. This Clausula Rebus Sic Stantibus. There's this document. This person. Okay, this person, Kate of Gaia, gave a lot of very good information about this stuff, and she is the one that basically really kind of track this down to its spiritual roots. This is basically spiritual usurping of our free will. It's like by consent, it's putting people into a situation where they're not able to exercise their free will because they have to subordinate themselves to taxes and social responsibilities and these sort of things first. Whereas true free will, when exercised properly, means you do what you feel is right in each moment. You follow the path that's in front of you, you know, and we serve only the greatest good and the Most High. I've had some spiritual epiphanies on my path, and I've studied every major spiritual philosophy. I would like to go, Sufism is one that I would like to go deeper into, but other than that, Hindu, Buddhist, Taoist, Native and Central and South American, Christian, Judaism, Islam, Old Testament, New Testament, alternative histories. Like I've studied them all. And, you know, I've come to a spiritual understanding that they're all trying to get at the same basic truths, which are things that I've shared earlier: the sacred geometry, the hermetic laws and principles of the universe, these sort of things. There is, in my understanding, a truth there. The law of unity, the law of one, mentalism, vibration, these sort of things. And we're learning about this. This power of water, the secret messages in water, you know, vibrational fields, these sort of things. There is a truth there with mathematics and geometry and these sort of things. And now we're starting to understand, how do we work with it? How do we do it? And we talk about the toroidal field that surrounds, you know, it's like a big donut shaped field that surrounds us and is centered in the heart. And so basically it's all about emotion. It's about generating emotion and sending it out to the universe. And this allows us to change things. And so to me, the highest truth is some sort of unity consciousness based on compassion and unconditional love, of knowing that the external is a mirror of the internal, that you are not just like me, you are me, we are one, we are all together, and this sort of thing, and we all have the same feelings. But in regards to the legal name fraud, in regards to the Babylon system that, you know, has basically kind of enslaved people or taken not taken away their free will, but basically convinced or tricked people into giving away their free will. I had this discussion earlier today with my friend. I personally do not believe that it's possible to take away the free will of another person. However, it is very easy in this modern age of television and stuff to convince people to give away their free will. Hey, sign this. Oh, yeah, just sign it. Doesn't. So we have to be very cognizant of these things. But the quote I was going to give is from the New Testament, Matthew 6:24. No one can serve two masters. Either you will hate the one and love the other, or you will be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and money. This is something that I've been working with. You cannot serve the Babylon system. You cannot carry an ID or pay taxes or vote and also serve God. They're inimical. They're opposite. Basically, the external system of government is incompatible with the unity consciousness of God and of the Most High and of natural abundance and these sort of things. So, you know, come out of Babylon. Do not take the mark of the beast. These sort of things. As long as we're carrying ID and we're doing these things, we still have one foot in that world, and we will learn to come out of it. You know, I've said this before, and I'll say this again. You know, like if all of the money in the world disappeared and all of the sun still rises, the fruit still grows. As long as you know how to climb a fruit tree, I think you'll be okay. Is how I feel. So this has been a journey of discovery. Somewhere along the line, I kind of made these choices to make these changes and decided that it was, from a spiritual level, it's very important to honor these things. And there's an element of surrender to it. I don't know what is going to happen in the past. On the path, I didn't know what was going to happen, but I have learned the power of trust, the power of faith, the power of courage, to say, you know, I don't know what's going to happen for sure, but I do have faith and trust that we are protected and we are cared for by the higher powers of the universe. And the experience that I've had have validated that. So I'm very pleased to share that. I didn't tell the story about how I got my guitar though. I wanted to get to that. So we were going on it in the car, and we came across from Venice across the middle of Italy. We went through this beautiful area called Cinque Terre, very beautiful part of Italy where I think a lot of people go for traveling, these sort of things. Very nice. We have a guest. Hello.
What up, motherfuckers?
What up, motherfuckers?
What up?
My man Bastian, my homeboy. We're just having a chill out moment, chill out evening, relaxing. And we went along the coast of Italy, and we ended up in France. Super cool. Irenaeus says, "What's up, Bastian?"
What up, guys?
Bastian says, "What's up, Irenaeus?" And we were in the south of France, and it was so funny because we were in the south of France, Nice and Cannes, and we were in Saint-Tropez, and I'm just walking around just like total hippie style, like haven't showered in a week. We're just bathing in the sea, just like, you know, my beard was getting very huge, and I'm just like, whatever. And I had a little ukulele, and I was, you know, I had no money. I just didn't have any. And we're in Saint-Tropez, in like one of the most expensive parts of the world. You know, I've only heard about Saint-Tropez in rap songs, you know, and we're there, and me total hippie style. I'm just sitting there playing my ukulele, like trying to earn a little bit of money because I wanted a guitar, because I can get a guitar and then I can actually busk and maybe make some money to travel with or whatever, just for fun, whatever. And I make 20 cents. Guy gives me 20 cents. You know, and then the police come by and they walk by and they say, "Oh, you can't busk here. Like you can play, but you can't put out a hat." And so, okay, whatever. I put on the hat, and I just am walking through the street playing my ukulele, just smile on my face, rainbow vibe, just, you know, positive vibration, whatever. I'm walking by, and I walk past these guys. I walk past terrace, and people are sitting there eating lunch. And I walk up, and these guys are sitting there, and I walk up to them, smile on my face. "Hey, how you guys doing?" Say, "Oh, we're doing good." And the guy says, "Oh, what are you doing? You playing music?" I say, "Yeah, I'm playing music." He says, "Well, what are you after some money? What, you want some money?" I say, "Yeah, yeah, that sounds good." Goes in his pocket, pulls out 20 euros, give me 20 euros. I say, "Wow, thank you, man, that's amazing." He looks at me and says, You want some more?" I say, "Yeah, yes, please." Goes in his pocket, pulls out 20 more euros, give me 20 euros. So this guy gave me 40 euros. And just because, I mean, I guess the people that are rich, like, it wasn't a big deal to him. And I was trying to earn some karma, which he earned great karma. I was very pleased about that. So like a week later, we're in Aix-en-Provence. Aix-en-Provence. French pronunciation is hard. And I'm walking around, and I go in this little thrift store, secondhand shop, and I'm looking in there. There's two guitars. I wanted like a Spanish style guitar with the nylon strings that you could like play fingerstyle. And they had one, but it was 65 euros, and it was like, I didn't like the sound of it. And then they had this steel string like gypsy guitar. Like, I'll show you. I'll grab it.
Was it broken?
Yeah. They had this beautiful steel string gypsy guitar, and I was playing it, and I loved the sound of it. And it was 45 euros. I have my 40 euros. I go in my pocket. I dig out every last little bit I had. I go up to the counter, and I have 44 euros. So I'm €1 short. And I look at the guy, say, it says 45, but I have 44. He said, "All right, go ahead." So I had exactly what I needed. I've had it now for almost 1.5 years of my traveling. So I've had a chance to be playing. I've really enjoyed playing guitar. Some of the people I've traveled with have been amazing musicians. It's really nice to learn from them and to share. You know, it's cool to be on the travel trail. You have a lot of nights where you're sitting around the campfire, out in nature, and there's not much else to do but sit and play guitar and play songs, smoke some weed. So, yeah. I think there's one more video I wanted to share. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, this one I think is very good. I'll share this as well. Also about the CAFR accounts. These CAFR accounts are basically, they take the taxes from the U.S. government, from the taxpayers, and a lot of times these disappear, and they go into these CAFR accounts, and they're basically put to the side to be used. I guess it's basically embezzled for personal use of politicians and stuff. I don't know exactly how it works, but this is why the U.S. is constantly running a deficit. I've said before, like, if you take all of the outstanding debt in the world, you know, the U.S. debt to China is like $15 trillion or something like this, and compare it to the amount of currency in circulation, mathematically it's impossible to pay off all the debt. So basically, it's like a pyramid scheme. Like there's no way out of it. So at some point we have to figure our way to get out of the system. So fortunately for us, lawfully, there is, you may have seen this before, there is no, maybe I can find something on it. There is no, I believe there is no technical law that actually mandates that you pay income tax. I believe this is just something that people do just because. So I don't believe that's the case. These sort of things. Any questions? Is there anything that I haven't covered? I hope you can still hear me well. I hope the noise levels are appropriate. I will add maybe one more video. Oh, here's a good video I would like to share. This is about how to sign documents, and it shows basically how you can sign documents and reserve your rights, so that when you sign documents, you're not giving other people jurisdiction over you and the right to kind of have control over you. And this YouTube channel, this His Advocates channel, it is coming from a Christian background, but I think it is the heart is in the right place, and the information is being shared. And you know, I've come in my understanding to really understand that there are some good things about the core of Christianity, the thing about Christ consciousness and unconditional love and sacrifice and surrender. I think there is a reason why this is so powerful, and I think it's something that we should respect. I always have been very skeptical of Christianity because, you know, the most popular branch of Christianity, or the most widely adopted, is Catholicism, which has been very imperialistic and very interested in monetizing the spirituality, and hierarchical and authoritarian and these sort of things. So Catholicism always has, you know, to me, is an upside down religion. I think it's the opposite of what we should do. It's taking away freedom and encouraging the wrong things. But I do think there's a branch of this like Gnostic Christianity. Do you mind, Bastin, if I step into the other room just so I can have better audio? Cool. We're gonna go on a field trip. Yay, field trip! Dun 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 dun. Just gonna come in the other room so we can have some better acoustics. Bastin is cooking, so I will not. I do not wish to have audio interference. So those were the main things I kind of wish to share. I think with the links I've shared today and the documents I've shared today, the first link I posted, the sedm.org, it's another kind of Christian ministry, but they have really good legal resources. If you wish to understand like the legal background of where this stuff comes from, and cite the U.S. Commercial Code and actually be able to back your shit up with law and stuff like this. They have a lot of really good resources, and this is where I'm getting the template for how to fill out this state citizen passport properly and all these sort of things. My appointment is on Tuesday to go in to get this new passport, so I will let you guys know how that goes. And my intention is to get this real and have it known in the system that I am not a part of it anymore and that I'm free. And when this happens, I will be very pleased to help other people do that as well, and to learn the process for getting people out from under the system in other countries as well. Because I've met a lot of people in Europe that wish to follow this path, but they don't know how. Most of the information I found is about the United States, because the United States is kind of the political military arm of the New World Order sort of thing. A lot of the information comes from the US, but like I said earlier, if you follow it all the way up the tree, I do believe it goes to the Vatican, and it's a spiritual thing. So what my friend that I've talked to here in Denmark has said, there's a small group of people who have been taking these steps, and that you can actually create like a letter of grievance and send it directly to the Pope and say, yo, you do not have authority over me, and if you ever have had presumption that you did, I rebut it formally. I think there's a thing here. You do not have to even do these things. I made my first Declaration of Freedom, same thing like the Declaration of Independence that the Americans created when they first came. That was something that was done as a contract with the Creator, with the Most High. They did not have or need permission from the British monarchy to sign the Declaration of Independence. They did it to declare that all men are created equal and they're free. Of course, all white, wealthy, landed men, whatever, hypocrisy, yes. But the point is that we have the right to declare our freedom externally from any sort of government source. And that was the first thing I did, actually. I created a personal document for myself between me and the Most High and me and the Creator. And I said, I'm free. And my intention is to create heaven on earth for the benefit of all, that may all the beings in all the worlds be free and happy. And so this is my intention. This is, a spiritual mission, or this is a spiritual contract that I have made with the universe that I'm very pleased to follow up on and live by. I know that, I serve a God of love and compassion, forgiveness, and mercy. And so, if you ever come to a point where from your spiritual core, you feel like you need to make an amendment to these agreements, then I do believe we have the ability to do that. But the point is that once I made this document for myself, and I made it up for myself, it gave me that peace of mind that, if ever a so-called authority figure, government, were to come to me and say that they have the power over me, that I literally, I'll show you here. I have the video of when I made this document. On my other YouTube channel, on my Wild Wombat YouTube channel. But also, why not? I made this thing, and I signed it with my seal. It says, I intend to bring forth heaven on earth for the greatest benefit of all life everywhere. I am a sovereign being. Sovereign means there is no higher authority. I am the sovereign being of myself. I'm the king of myself. I am alive. I'm a living being, a legal person, a corporation, a corporate entity cannot be alive. It's a dead legal fiction. And so this whole thing it's like zombie apocalypse, man. Like, people are representing a legal fiction that cannot be alive. And it's very strange times that we live in, this sort of thing. Yeah, so there's that. I mean, you can do this. I think I mentioned this to you when we were hanging out, Irenaeus, that that I had made this document, and I did that with myself. The power is in the blood. The blood that pumps through our veins gives us life is very powerful. I created this contract between me and the universe using that, and I'm pleased with it. It comes from the highest part of me. It comes from love and a sense of service. So I'm okay with that ritual. But I mean, you can just set your intention and just free yourself just with the thought or with the word. I enjoy having a document with me that I can say this is the highest document. It is, because the birth certificate is created using, they oftentimes will take the ink, the sole print off the bottom of your foot as DNA evidence that you consent into their system. So now here I have very clear DNA evidence that I have deconsented from the system and that I'm free, and I can show that to someone. If I didn't have this document that I made myself, I would use the Clausula Rebus Sextantibus document that I put the link to there. And I actually do have a copy of it in my backpack. The Clausula Rebus Sextantibus basically says that any contracts that the government made by a government with us are rebutted formally and are null and void on the basis of fraud. And so in any situation where someone is trying to gain authority or gain jurisdiction over you, you can take that document, you can throw it at them or hand it to them. If they touch it, whether they touch it or not, they have created joinder, and dun dun dun, you walk away and they have no authority over you. Legally, lawfully, spiritually, period. And if from that moment on they are to touch you against your consent or take you somewhere against your consent, I was assaulted, robbed, and kidnapped by French police this year against my consent. They touched me, they took my things, and they put me in a car and took me somewhere that I did not wish to go this year. I want you to know that I'm okay. That was an ordeal that I had to struggle. I had to pass through, and I had courage. They asked me, "Do you have, you show us ID or you go to jail?" Da da da. I said, "No. I know who I am. I don't have to. I am not your slave. I am not your property. I do not have to do what you say. I am a free man." Dot dot dot. And they never gave me their names either. I always ask for a name. If in a so-called authority figure wishes to speak to you, ask them for their name, ask them for their identity, make them write it down and give it to you, badge number and everything, before you even proceed with any interaction. I mean, if that's the appropriate way to go, you can finesse it and just be friendly with them and try and kind of slide through. But if they're trying to gain evidence or jurisdiction over you, or they're asking those types of questions, first thing you should ask is, who are you? I wish to see your identification because you are a public servant, you are my employee, and I have the right to know who you are and why you believe that you have jurisdiction over me. So this is something that I learned through that situation. Yeah, and I don't know actually that they were French police. They were wearing police uniforms, but they never appropriately identified themselves to me. So as far as I'm concerned, they're basically just armed thugs that assaulted, robbed, and kidnapped me on the side of the highway in France. It was an ordeal. I've had several other interactions with so-called authority figures. So-called authority figures, no authority over me. I am the authority in my realm. And we learn to be free. We learn these things. And if you make sure to make it clear that you are a free person and that that you are the sovereign in this situation, that you know who you are on a spiritual level. Me and Irenaeus, we talked last time about spiritual sovereignty, the unity of the universe, like what's really going on a high level of kind of understanding this dimension where there are other places and other dimensions when our consciousness kind of leaves our body. This is what helped me to understand that. So, whoa, holy shit, it's just energy, it's just vibration. And so this gave me the confidence and the faith to live in the energy and say, if I live in peace, I will receive peace. If I give peace, I get peace. If I give love and care, I will get love and care. And so the ordeals that I had to confront as far as having these confrontations with these types of people were basically just residual fears that I was holding in my energy field that I needed to traverse. So these are ordeals that we have to go through to gain the faith and the confidence that when we live in the light of God, of the Most High, of love, unconditional compassion, surrender, sacrifice, Christ consciousness, we become invulnerable and impermeable, completely indestructible and impermeable in the light of unconditional love, surrender, sacrifice, Christ consciousness. It's a lifetime of work. It's creating the diamond mind of the Buddha, the eightfold path: right mind, right action, right thought, right intent, all of these things. So we're not. I'm not perfect. Like I was discussing last night, like, for all the work that I'm doing and giving my best, like, there's still some ego here. I enjoy, for people to come in and participate here. I enjoy, interacting with people. I wish to be liked and these sort of things. So there's some ego stuff that I wish to murder brutally, ruthlessly. Ego is the one time that I fully endorse murder. Your own ego, ... So yeah, just coming to this understanding that it appears ego is a tool. Yeah, it is a tool to be transcended, to be understood, tool for higher understanding. It's basically our sacral third chakra. I don't know, maybe that was hyperbole, but it's frustrating though. It's really frustrating, because like as much as I attempt to give and humble myself and do the best, there is that voice in your head that wants recognition, it wants praise, it wants wants a pat on the back, these sort of things. To be enjoyed, yes. Yeah, and that's where I'm at with my philosophy. Follow your heart, enjoy your life. Fun, I think, is important. I think, if you're having fun, you're doing something right for sure. I think so, and I think that's enough, actually. I was speaking with my mom an hour or so ago before this call, and I was saying, in life, sometimes we may be guilty that we're not doing enough, we're not getting out there, participating enough. I should be doing this, I should be doing that. And the way I feel about it is, if you are living a simple life of peace and love and joy, then that right there is enough. If you do nothing else in this life, even there's a quote, there's a really good book I would recommend. I'll type it in. I listened to it like every day when I was in sales, when I was in Fort Collins and I was living with Craig. I listened to it basically every day when I would go on to my sales calls, and I listened to this tape, like this book 10, 20 times. And in one of the verses, he gives a quote that says, it's from some philosopher from some time. It says, if the only prayer you ever say in your entire life is thank you, then that would be enough. So I'm thankful. I give thanks. I'm very pleased to be alive. I'm very pleased to share in these moments, these beautiful memories, these beautiful stories that we get to share. These times, another day on planet Earth is good for me. Very pleased, very pleased. And I said this in my video that I put up this week. I cannot wait until the party at the end of time when we all get to come together and jump up and down and celebrate. Game over, you win, hooray, sort of thing. So, ... How are we feeling out there? Is there anything that I can address or that I haven't touched on? I've given some good resources. I'm very pleased to share. I have a reading list that I'm pleased to share with anyone who wants it of spiritual philosophical books. I have some good PDFs on on my computer. I made a video about the ancient secret of the flower of life and the Kybalion this week. I have those texts in PDF form. Say the word and I will send them to you. These sort of things. I have other things to share. I'm willing to talk about basically any topic under the sun. Whatever it is. Very, very pleased, very pleased. Yeah. Ooh. Very nice book I found today called Cracking the Code, talking about basically the legal aspects behind the system we've been talking about, social security number, tax code, citizenship status, these sort of things from a U.S. Standpoint, but very, very cool book. Download the PDF from that. I believe that it's the same in every country. I imagine you can maybe share that there's some version of social security number in Poland, some social identification number. Between the birth certificate and the social identification number, I think these are the two places where I would start if one intends to be free. I would get my hands on the original copy of these documents. I would take them into a government office, and I would say, you know, these I would do my research. I would figure out the best way to deal with these. I do believe you can basically just like sign them over to them. Say, I do not wish to have these anymore. These belong to you. This belongs to me. So you keep your stuff to you. I will keep my stuff to me. And have a good day. Goodbye forever. So, and I will say the same thing I've said before. You know, I don't necessarily believe that that these institutions are evil at heart. It's just basically the current implementation of them. If we can create a governmental system, or maybe a resource-based economy of some sort that can deliver. No, I have these documents. I have the PDFs. I can email them to you. And I don't know. Most documents you can just Google what you want, and they show up. Which documents are you talking about? Look at the passport. Well, no, I don't think the documents necessarily work as a passport. You know, you can travel independently, like on Pachamama, on manifestation, on a boat, and just go and be protected and supported by the universe, which you're a little bit more exposed out there if you don't have a passport. If you do have a passport, like a Polish passport, you should be able to change your status. You may be able to change your political status and get some sort of free man passport in the same way that I intend to get the state citizen passport. The other option is that you can, I mean, theoretically, you could. There's a world citizen passport that you could apply for, which basically was created under the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, right to travel, which you do have to pay for to get. I don't recommend that. I think that's a little bit Babylon, to be honest. You can make. I think there are people that make their own travel documents. Yeah, these things expire. I mean, the state citizen passport that I intend to get is basically, it looks exactly the same as a U.S. passport. It's just when they scan it, it shows you as a different class of citizen. It says instead of U.S. citizen, you are a state citizen, a American national, which basically puts you outside of the jurisdiction of the U.S. Code of Statutes. Basically, puts you under the jurisdiction of the Most High. So there must be. I don't know how to find these type of documents. No, it's actually not outlaw, but like in law. So there's an important distinction between the legal system and lawful status. Legal and lawful. Legal system falls under the jurisdiction of the codes and statutes, taxes, fees, permits, insurance, these sort of things. Whereas lawful is under the natural laws of the universe, natural man, natural jurisdiction, karma, hermetic laws, these sort of things. So and when you think about it, when you think that that the government Babylon system basically has been created in opposition to the natural laws of the Most High, it actually is against the law, against the natural law, against the law of the Most High, to participate in external government. It is an affront to the existence of the Most High to participate in government in any way, shape, or form. Taxes, voting, any of that. Because basically what you're saying is, I don't have the faith that the natural universe will take care of me, and I need Big Daddy, I need Uncle Sam to take care of me. And isn't that kind of a funny word? Like, if you don't have faith that your father will take care of you, the Most High, the Father, Jehovah, if you don't have faith that your father will take care of you, then you go to your uncle. Kind of strange, so that your uncle can misuse and mistreat and molest you. Uncle Sam, goddamn, Brother Ali. Yeah, I don't know. I just thought of that in this moment, but it's strange. Why do they call him Uncle Sam? Doesn't make sense. ... So I would like to show you also. I made that document last year, the first one that I showed you. I'll show you this other one I made. The writing might be backwards. Maybe it's not for you. It says, "May all the beings in all of the worlds be happy." It's got the Om character, and it says, "We are all free." So I used my conscious divine sovereignty to make this declaration this summer. It was a very nice ceremony with another brother and a sister. We became blood siblings. We had a nice thing there. And so for those people that are still working their way through the maze and trying to figure out their way to be free, I will give everybody the courage and the faith to understand that from where I'm sitting in this chair, I have already declared that all of us are free. And as far as we went to the World Peace Rainbow Gathering in Germany this summer, and the European Rainbow Gathering in Poland, and it was in this place where basically I had an experience to where it became clear to me that peace on earth has been declared already. The revolution will not be televised. I don't think we can look forward to ever seeing a newspaper headline of peace on earth is declared. But for everybody who sees this, just know in your hearts and minds that it has been declared. I have declared it. Many people I know have already declared it. It already exists. It's just coming into form one bit at a time. And we're all part of the same family. We're all in the same boat. Peace on earth has been declared already. Yeah, world party. Let's get, put those smiles on our faces and enjoy. Yeah. Very pleased. I really would like to be able to bring people in on this video and have, hear some other people's voices and maybe get some other people's video in there. It doesn't appear that it's going to allow me to, which is a bummer. Maybe I can find another platform that will allow that. I was originally going to use a podcasting platform, but I like this because I think this will go directly to my YouTube channel, so people can rewatch it at their own leisure. These sort of things. So I think I have covered just about everything I wish to cover today. I've shared some very nice resources. I think this thread will remain open even after I close the stream, so people can continue to add comments as they like, and I can respond to them. Whether you're live with us now, the two of you, or you watch this at a later time, please feel free to interact, comment, ask questions. Like I said, I will make any PDFs or documents available that I have. I have a very nice reading list that I'm willing to share with whoever wants it. These sort of things. You can use Skype, record it, and upload it on YouTube. Yeah, that's really good. And maybe I will do that if I wish to like do an interview with someone from a long distance. That's a good idea. I don't think I can do it live, like stream it live that way. But that's fine. I can do a cool interview and record it and then upload it afterwards. You can do it live. Cool. I wonder if we can do like a conference call and get several people on the line. It might be kind of cool. All right, I will fidget around with Skype and I will see if I can figure out how to do this in the future. I'm gonna try to continue to be available every Sunday. I think we can get more people involved on this if we have it on a regular schedule. Check out the video I put up this week, my introduction to sacred geometry. Basically talking about the ancient secret of the flower of life, a little bit about the Merkaba meditation, these sort of things. Conference will be absolutely amazing if we can get a handful of cool people on talking about things. Maybe since I have you, maybe we can do an interview, you and me sometime in the next week or two. We can record it and I can put it up. Because I'm very certain that people would like to hear the sort of things that we have to talk about. Yeah, of course. I mentioned before, like it's a challenging thing to put yourself out here on the internet and give this information, especially when you're talking about things that a little bit occult. These are secret things, and also a little bit out of the mainstream. Some of the psychedelic things, like people are not. Some people have never been exposed to these before, and especially when you go deeper into some of these psychedelic experiences, on the high level, people, but if, when people start commenting and that they're worried about me, or that, they saw, they saw what I'm talking about and it's making them concerned. To me, I'm starting to be like, all right, I must be hitting the right buttons, because we should be concerned and we should be taking action, especially about this stuff, about what's going on in international governance and stuff like that, until we can have peace on the planet. And yeah, I don't know. I wish for people to know that I am in good balance. I am in joy. I am in health, happiness, love, light, very pleased, these sort of things. There is no need to worry about me. If you wish to be worried, then you will be worried. I am not worried, and I have no intention of becoming worried in order to appease anyone else. So, it is what it is on that account. So we're out here living life, having a good time, being very much. Yeah. There is a point that we are healed. Yeah, I think so. Let us all be very pleased to come to that point. I'm very pleased with the place that I've arrived at in my experience. Like, I don't know. I am so pleased that I have come to a point where I feel joy. I'm happy to be alive. Just being alive is enough. And like, I don't need fireworks every day or anything like that. And, I've had very nice talks with my mom and my dad, kind of talking about the things that I've been going through, helping to understand myself better. I've been having good social interactions where I'm making nice friends, nice connections. I've had some nice therapy moments where I've been able to sit with other people and offer healing to them and be able to look in their eyes and see a connection as they begin to heal some wounded, pathological thought patterns and stuff like this. And these are difficult. And I think most people would be amazed at how much healing on a deep intrinsic level you can offer to someone by helping them to understand and change wounded thought patterns. very simple. And this is something I've gained some ability in and had some practice in. You talk to people and you see they're finding their way into a place where they're beating themselves up or hurting themselves or pushing themselves down. And you say, hey, brother, like, what is that about? Why do you feel that way? How can we feel a different way? You know, I wish for you to be happy and healthy. I accept you. You know, there's nothing to be worried about. You can feel safe in this space. And when you create that space, I've been really impressed with the type of healing. And I do believe that by healing these psychological thought pattern issues, you can actually experience physical healing as well. You know, I think there's a lot to be learned about how thought patterns, pernicious negative thought patterns, can metastasize into physical cancers and things like this, and the vibration of that, and also vibrational healing. You know, I have this idea when I first started reading the Flower of Life stuff and I started understanding the geometries of consciousness. I have this idea about creating an electromagnetic, you know, and technology is neutral. It can be used for good or evil, you know, and so they have these directed energy weapons. You can look at this DEW if you wish to be scared about, you know, where the technologies of Babylon are going. These directed energy weapons where they just shoot a frequency at you and it basically causes you to experience pain and can basically rip your cells and molecules apart. But if we go in the other direction, like music is a directed energy healing tool. And so I had this idea for like a directed energy, you know, gun where you could just point it at someone's third eye and literally blast them into the next dimension in a very wonderful and cool way. But then I realized that this technology already existed and it's called DMT. Wow, troll, freak out. The crowd goes wild. What did he just say? Oh my God. Okay. Ayahuasca, powerful medicine. I've not so much experience. Something I would recommend. Before I would try opioids or anything like this, I had a nice conversation with a woman yesterday who's in the Danish Air Force. She's on her way to Afghanistan, to Kabul today, working in an American military hospital there as part of some sort of NATO agreement, Danish, American, NATO in Afghanistan. I have this thing, you know, I talk about peace. And you know, a lot of the Western countries are very critical about America. Oh, you fools! How could you elect Trump? You want to shit on American politics, you know, and pretend like everything. You know, there's no culpability here. But I would like to remind everybody that you know, the Western world, Western Europe, is protected by NATO, and you know, there are many contributors and participants. So there's culpability there as well. We're all in it together. When we look at the global financial markets and stuff, I am very surprised that we've made it all the way to 2019 and that nationalism still exists. I'm very surprised we haven't come to some sort of post-nationalist, humanitarian, international governance. And I would welcome some sort of global international governance if it could deliver peace to the world. But I would be very skeptical about any type of international governance that is going to perpetuate the system that already exists, which is destruction of natural environment and people and poverty and these sort of things. So, all right. I've been going for some time. I've been rambling and raving. I hope it has been entertaining. Needless to say, I wish for peace and joy and love for everyone on their path. I wish for people to have the courage to go out into the world and travel and explore. There are many wonderful people out here who have couches to sleep on and are willing to share space, and you know, that wish to help us along our way. And when we have the courage to take the first step, the universe will give us the stepping stones to get from here to where we need to go. And this is something I've experienced, and this is why I wish to share it with you. So, that being said, I've had a very nice time, very pleased, very nice to hang out with you, Irenaeus, very nice to have Craig earlier, and I'll be very pleased for anybody who sees this at any time ever to be inspired and to walk forward with joy and happiness as we move through this dream of life. Yay, hooray, we are the best multidimensional infinite consciousness experiencing itself ever. Hooray, dot, 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 dot. All right, peace out. See you guys in exactly 5.